guys, welcome back. I'm going to run through my thoughts on the Bethesda press conference for E3 2016. First of all, this, I believe, was a much better showing than EA. Some people thought the delivery was a little stilted, which I kind of believe. I mean, they're game developers and publishers, they're not public speakers. But in terms of the content they showed, I think they really did blow EA out of the water. They opened with Quake. Which a lot of people thought might be like the stinger at the end, or coming in a long time, but no, they opened with, here is the new Quake, PC only, uncapped frame rate, basically all the things that old Quake fans would want, which I'm not really a part of, but from what I've heard that Quake fans would want, except that they also said it's a hero shooter, or a shooter in which the characters have different abilities. It's not an even playing field, so that brings to mind something like Overwatch rather than the original Quake, but we'll see how it turns out. But opening with Quake, great start. Right after that, they moved into Fallout 4. They talked about, the sales and the awards it won, blowing their own horn, stuff like that, which is fine. You get to do that when you make Fallout 4. And they talked about a few new DLCs coming out. First was Contraptions. Looks like you can build different machines and goofy little things. If you ever played The Incredible Machine, which is a game I loved back in the day on PC, it looked kind of like that, but in Fallout. Extend the base building to making weird machines inside your bases, and you have contraptions basically, and that is coming, I think, this month. I think I wrote it down. Yeah, next week actually. So very soon. And then the next one is vault-tec, which comes out in July, which is, instead of just building your own settlements, you can actually build your own vault, which is kind of cool, and defend it like in Fallout Shelter. Right after that, they didn't show much on it, but they talked about Nuka World. They showed a quick little video, which looks like a giant theme park based on the Nuka-Cola brand, which can be found throughout GameStop, and actually in real life, but I've never tried Nuka-Cola. So they didn't say much about that. I'd assume it's another big expansion like Far Harbor, another new area. I am very excited about exploring a rundown theme park. I think there's a lot of great possibilities there for world building and things of that nature, showing this dilapidated park. It could be almost like a horror carnival at one point. I assume overrun by robots because it's Fallout and everything is overrun by either super mutants or robots. Then they announced, of course, the Elder Scrolls remaster for Skyrim, which was rumored for a while and is now finally confirmed. They originally said they had ported it to Xbox One just to learn how to make stuff with the new consoles, but they decided to release it, apparently, with mod support, which is really cool, on consoles. So on Xbox One and eventually PS4, they said, you'll be able to download and use mods. I don't know how that's going to work licensing-wise, if you're going to be able to have, the Macho Man Randy Savage dragon flying over when it's on a console, because it's much more subject to legal restrictions. Will probably get me to play through it again, so say goodbye to another 80 hours of my life. Now, after that, I thought they were going to launch directly into Dishonored 2, but they actually showed what looked like kind of a Groundhog Day, Edge of Tomorrow thing. This guy just kept waking up day after day. The computer started saying his name, and then started being attacked by what looked like the black ooze monster from Cowboy Bebop, if you've ever seen that episode. Looks almost like a survival horror kind of thriller bent. And it turned out to be the new Prey. You remember Prey a few years ago? They then announced Prey 2, and they showed a vertical slice, and this game looks nothing like that Prey 2. So they've completely reworked it, only called it Prey. I'm really excited about it. It looks like a really cool narrative-based shooter, which Bethesda's been doing great with lately. And then they announced new Doom DLC, mostly just multiplayer stuff, I believe. I don't think there was any single player. If it was very small. But new multiplayer DLC, which is cool. I'm not a big fan of the Doom multiplayer. I love the single player. But I'm glad they're going to continue to support that game as well, and looks like they're going to really run with it, because they know they struck something big here. Also, shout out to the E3 screaming Bethesda woman. If you saw the press conference, you know what I'm talking about. I don't know if she was actually swallowing one of the audience mics, or if she just felt like she needed to scream directly into a camera, but my goodness, she was loud. She actually has her own hashtag now. She was trending, so there's something. Now, a big reveal for me was that they are bringing Doom to VR. I think it was just like a virtual tour through hell. I don't believe it's an actual gameplay, but just like a guided experience. And then they said they're bringing all of Fallout 4 to the HTC Vive. So Fallout 4 in VR is pretty insane. I don't know how they're going to do that, or how any computer could even run that, unless it's just way downscaled. And I think it's only the Vive is what they said, but that's crazy to actually be in Fallout in VR. I don't even know where to start with that. That sounds super exciting. And is by far the biggest thing coming to VR, I believe. Most things have been tech demos. I've tried the Vive. It's amazing technology. I didn't want to buy one because there weren't really that many big games, just a lot of stuff that proved the technology worked. Now that Fallout 4 is coming, I'm going to have to start rethinking some things. And last, but most definitely not least, they showed Dishonored 2 gameplay, finally. The first trailer they showed was just a little bit of the world, their new lighting engine, which they're calling, or their whole new game engine that has a new lighting called the Void engine. One phrase that I found interesting that they dropped was interruptible narrative events or narrative cutscenes, so it seems like when people are just walking up and talking to you, like in the first game or like something in Half-Life, you can actually interrupt it and do something. So I don't know if that's press a button and interrupt like Mass Effect, or you can actually just walk away or kill the person talking to you, or what that means, but it sounded interesting the way they put it. The Empress that gets kidnapped at the beginning of the first Dishonored is the hero in the second one. You can play as her or as the player character from the first one, who is actually her father. Spoiler alert, that they just dropped that in the trailer. From the videos that they showed, it looks a little less cartoonish from the first game, which I like because that world does not really lend itself to cartoony. It's a pretty dark place. But it's one of those things you're just going to have to watch. They showed a narrative path through this game, and you can see like 15, 20 different ways you can split off and do things differently. And after showing that great amount of choice in the level design, they actually showed something where you can warp through time when you're in the middle of a place to solve puzzles or to sneak up behind guys. So in case you didn't have enough choice already with the teleporting and the killing or the shooting or the non-lethal or the mind control or shadow walking, whatever you call it, now you can teleport through time to take dudes out. So Dishonored 2, coming out in November, really looking forward to that. So guys, that is my basic rundown of the Bethesda press conference. A lot of exciting things. I'm really pumped for tomorrow with Microsoft, Ubisoft, and Sony. Those videos are probably going to be coming a little bit later because I do have work tomorrow, and I'll get to it as soon as I can. I feel like Bethesda has really started E3 now. EA was alright, but this was the first big conference where I was like, I'm really excited to play these things. So you've got Quake coming out, which should be really cool. All the Fallout 4 editions that I haven't even worked my way through the first DLCs in Fallout 4. You have the Skyrim remastered. I don't even know if I have time to go back to that, but I want to. The Prey, new Prey that looks awesome. You've got the... Oh my goodness, I'm running down my list. All I can see is the screaming Bethesda woman. The Doom in VR and then Fallout 4 in the Vive is crazy. I'm going to have to see how that works. Those engines are kind of notoriously buggy, so hopefully they can get it to run because that would be awesome. And then to end with Dishonored 2, the game looks incredible. I love the first one. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll have the little links to the other videos after this. Please come back and watch the Microsoft and Ubisoft and Sony tomorrow. And you can go back and watch my EA one if you wish. But thank you for sticking around and hope to see you again soon.